He represented Ward 3 on the City Council from 1995 to 2005, which reminds me, congratulations on 20 years of public service. Mayor Gerlach serves on the boards of the Shawnee Mission Medical Center, the Johnson County Education Research Triangle Authority, also known as JCERT, and the Johnson County Community College Foundation. He is chairman of the Kansas Lottery Commission and also serves on the boards of the Overland Park Chamber, the Overland Park Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Executive Committee of the Chamber's Economic Development Council. The mayor received the 2013 Ewing Kauffman Distinguished Eagle Scout Award and the 2012 NAACP Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Award. The Crescent Peace Society presented its 2013 Peace Award to him in recognition of his commitment and efforts to promote pluralism, understanding, tolerance, and acceptance of religious and cultural diversity in Greater Kansas City. The Kansas City Business Journal listed him as one of its Power 100 Kansas City movers and shakers. Known as an avid K-Stater, he and his wife Jill have 3 children, Chris, Jennifer, and Katie. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Carl Gerlach.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Today, I want to talk to you about experience. I'm not talking about experience in your professional careers. Rather, it may be your experience of the beautiful serenity of a sunrise, or the thrill of free falling, or maybe the feel and sound of a sweet golf swing, or maybe just sitting on a sun-drenched, warm, sandy beach somewhere while remembering back here it's really cold. Experiences are what shape our opinions, our actions, and our loyalties. It's what teaches us. It's what brings us back. It's something that you will always remember. So why should Overland Park be any different? Welcome, and good afternoon. And Margaret, thank you very much for that nice introduction. I'd also like to express my appreciation to the Chamber's Board of Directors for this opportunity to share the outstanding qualities of Overland Park. To Tracy Osborne and her staff members, thanks for your continuous commitment to our city and also for arranging today's events. I also want to thank First National Bank, Dave and Marga. Thank you very much for being today's sponsor of the State of the City. I appreciate that. Also to the 6 companies that are serving as today's corporate partners, and also to the 12 sponsors. I really do personally want to express my appreciation for your support of Overland Park and your commitment to our community, to the Chamber of Commerce, and for making us one of the best communities in the entire nation. Also to Brett Mitchell, the General Manager of the Convention Center, and Lori Kennedy, the Food and Beverage Director, and also to those dedicated staff members. Hopefully the lunch was pretty good today. I enjoyed it as much as I could eat. And I want to thank them for their exemplary service. Now I want to start by introducing 3 new key staff members, and I hope you get to know these 3 because they are real professionals. First, Public Works Director Tony Hoffman, Police Chief Frank Donchez, and our newest Assistant City Manager, Kate Gunja. Each one of these brings an impressive amount of experience and knowledge that I believe will serve you and will also serve the City of Overland Park well into the future. And finally, I want to thank the staff members. Without them, this wouldn't have happened today. You know, we have received a number of awards from this city, being rated very highly, and you'll hear more about those today, but one key reason that happens is because we also have one of the best city staffs in the entire nation, and I want you to thank them. They're sitting back in the back and throughout the audience. Thank you very much. Many of you in the room know me very well, and you know there's another important aspect to my life, and that's my family. They're very important to me, and I want to introduce a few of them that are here. I'm fortunate to have quite a few of them here, all but one today. And I'd like to start with my mother and father who are here in the room. They're sitting in the middle, right back in the middle of the table here. My dad is 92 and my mom's 87. They're both here. You know, I've been working on them. They're still living in the same house that I grew up in. Peggy, yes, Leawood, Kansas. And I'm working on getting them moved to Overland Park, but I haven't quite done that yet. I also have two of my children here today. You've heard me talk about my son, Chris, at Black and Beach. Thanks, Chris, for coming. And my daughter, Katie, who's down at Baker University studying to be a teacher. Do I like education? Yes. She's going to be a teacher someday. Thank you both for coming. And also, Jill, thank you very much. My wife is my support. I really appreciate it. So today, I want you to walk away from here more informed. Nope, scratch that. I want you to walk away from here feeling good about Overland Park and the people of our community, how they're working to differentiate Overland Park from all other cities. Overland Park's successes comes from courageous community pioneers, from business innovators, and from risk-taking entrepreneurs. Those dimensions that have been in the history continue to thrive in our community today, and that's what makes the difference. We are creating places. We are creating spaces with an interaction that has people saying, hey, this is where I want to live. This is where I want to raise my family. This is where I want my kids to go to school. This is where I want to work. And this is where I want to have fun. Together, we are creating the Overland Park experience. Opportunities are availing themselves to Overland Park that will strengthen our presence as a community. It's happening in three different distinctive ways. First, there exists a strong and responsible community, a city that is fiscally responsible and moving forward. Let me give you some examples. Overland Park is one of only 37 cities nationwide out of the thousands of cities in this nation that have a AAA bond rating from 3 separate rating agencies. In fact, Overland Park has had the highest rating possible for nearly 30 years. Another example. At the beginning of this year, the Overland Park and Marion Fire Departments began a partnership of operational efficiencies, creating a consolidation of services, the two of them together. The partnership will save each city money, Marion about $500,000 over the next 10 years. Overland Park, $120,000 per year. But even better, we will be offering a higher level of service to the citizens in both of these cities. Now, the second way that we are creating an Overland Park experience is the people of this community who are building a diverse mix of amenities and businesses. In downtown Overland Park, Nicole Emanuel and others are working to create a cultural district along 80th Street, starting at Metcalf and moving west. Nicole's vision for a cultural district began with the creation of the Interurban Art House. That house houses 10 artists today. She and others are envisioning an avenue of cultural activities, creating an experience from performance arts, such as dance and music, to visual and decorative art. Also, the Overland Park Soccer Complex hosted 24 tournaments in 2014 and will be the site this year again for national and regional tournaments. The $1.2 1.1 million visitors who experienced this complex infused $8 million into our local economy just last year. And since it opened in 2009, $44 million. The third component of the Overland Park experience that is changing is community involvement. For many of us, there is a desire to volunteer. That selfless spirit is reflected at the Arboretum, at the farmstead, and elsewhere throughout our community. Through the efforts of these volunteers, lives are changed, including the well-being of Overland Park. An example here. On an annual basis, more than 900 people, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church groups, social organizations, and individuals come out on Saturday to remove the trash and debris and to enhance the beauty and the attraction of the Overland Park parks and rec and streamways. You know, I'm entering my 10th year as mayor of this tremendously well-known and exciting city. I am very proud of our resiliency, of our community spirit, and of our strength. But last year, groups of volunteers had to come together to the immediate aid of others when 3 wonderfully kind-hearted people lost their lives in April. Thousands of people of all ages and faiths throughout this area came together at the Jewish Community Center for a candlelight vigil and a rally in support of solidarity and tolerance, and to support the families of Reed Underwood, his grandfather, Dr. William Corcoran, and Terry Lamano. Anonymous individuals and businesses immediately reached out to provide support to the Jewish Community Center, to the Village Shalom Retirement Center, and to the families. I would like to recognize the family members of Reed, Dr. Corcoran, and Terry, who are in the face of unbelievable tragedy, displayed such grace and poise, and they're here today. Please help me thank them. I would just like to say to you, on behalf of the governing body, I want to offer my sincere condolences to you and to all your family members. I also want to let the entire community know that the governing body is forever grateful to the students who organized a candlelight walking vigil, to the parents who held their kids just a little tighter at night, brushing away the tears of youngsters who were swept up in fear, asking the question, why? And to everyone who assisted in these efforts in any way possible. You, our entire community, made acceptance the focal point, helping all of us to come together. I would also like to say thanks to the Overland Park police officers and detectives, to the Leawood police officers and detectives, to Olathe police officers, Johnson County Sheriff's Office, to the Overland Park Fire Department, to Johnson County MedAct, to Kansas Highway Patrol, the FBI, the ATF, the U.S. Marshal, the Department of Homeland Security, to Johnson County District Attorney's Office, and to the U.S. Attorney's Office. All these people came together, and even this experience brought this community closer together. The Overland Park experience is growing and becoming more of an attraction for all of us. I found the following statement explaining what an experiential economy is. Commodities are fungible, goods tangible, services intangible, and experiences memorable. Our community is moving toward experiences that are sought by corporations, by job seekers, by families, by millennials, by retirees, and everyone else in between. From 159th Street to downtown Overland Park, investors are reaching for designs and amenities that surpass the traditional. For instance, the construction of the Metro's largest mixed-use development in the entire Metro is proceeding right here in Overland Park. It's called Blue Hawk. It's a 300-acre site at the southwest corner of US 59 and 69 Highway. Besides the retail, of course, but it's going to have single-family homes and luxury apartments. It's going to have a regulation-sized soccer and lacrosse fields. It'll have a 40-acre frisbee golf and foot golf, and so much more. Matter of fact, Blue Hawk developers are hoping for a tie-in with the Kansas Cosmosphere. That space center in Hutchinson, Kansas, just think about it. If the Cosmosphere and Space Center locates the second facility here in Overland Park, you can go from the past, looking at dinosaurs at Prairie Fire, to the future of space. Many of us know about Prairie Fire. We've all envisioned it and enjoyed it. It opened in May with the Museum of Prairie Fire. Pinstripes, Rock and Brews, Cinetopia Theaters, luxurious apartments, and bocce ball at Pinstripes has been described as the local version of Harry Potter's Quidditch games. Now, many of us in the room, many of us older people in the room may not realize about the Harry Potter movie, but if you think about it, Harry Potter came out in 2001. 14 years later, those kids who were watching that movie today are young working adults, and some of them may even be here today. These young professionals seek an extension of that unique experience at other Overland Park locations. The Overland Park experience is moving into the corporate setting. Matter of fact, earlier this year, Black & Veatch officials reached an agreement with the owners of the former Overland Park Trade Center. They're going to move 700 employees into that center. The Trade Center has changed its name. It's now called Exchange. But what I find intriguing and growing in popularity is what the owner of Exchange is moving towards. There isn't talk about how many cubicles or how many parking spots or flex work hours. No, the former Trade Center is reinvigorating itself with the amenities that heighten an experience for today's and tomorrow's workers. Providing services such as auto detailing, dry cleaning, shoe shine pickup, fitness centers, and a nourishment bistro. How many of us work in a site that have those types of services? I know I don't. Maybe I'll be looking. City Place is a 90-acre site at the southwest corner of College Boulevard and US 69. Last summer, it was a soybean field. Tomorrow, it will be a $350 million mixed-use development catering to a diverse group of retirees, young professionals, and people devoted to fitness and others. Now, also in less than just 2 weeks, the Overland Park City Council will be conducting 2 separate public hearings for highly visible projects along Metcalf. Hundreds of millions of dollars may be reinvested in these 2 projects that are within view of one another. First Lane 4 Property Group is proposing a complete rebuild of Metcalf South and the former Kmart, or some of us call the French Market. The property is on the north and the south of 95th Street. Central Square, which is the name of the 2 pieces of property, is prime real estate. The north side calls for community-focused neighborhood centers, the village-like atmosphere. Views overlooking the skyline of Overland Park to the west and to the south, presenting a beautiful vista of a Kansas horizon and sunsets. It would have restaurants, retailers, luxury multifamily apartments. The Metcalf South Side would also have small and large retail spaces, restaurants, offices, and townhomes. Now, if you look just 4 blocks to the north, Promontory, at the northeast corner of 91st and Metcalf, this will be a $97 million makeover, which will include apartments, mixed-use buildings, rooftop and courtyard amenities, and so much more. Tentative plans for Promontory call for the demolition this year and construction to begin on the northeast corner of this project. The first phase of construction will include apartments over retail, and current plans call for that construction to be completely done in just 5 years. Just a few years ago, Ryan Transportation purchased the 2 office towers at the northwest corner of 95th Street and Metcalf. Now they're called Shamrock Towers. Currently, the timetable for this 29-acre site is to have 2 buildings fully occupied in just 10 years. The company moves into the second phase of this. It's a multi-million-dollar renovation this spring. Think about it. Could there be more growth on this future site? Well, if you look back, the original plan called for 3 buildings on that land. That would accommodate an additional 600 people. A little bit further to the north, in downtown Overland Park on the southeast corner of 80th and Metcalf, is a $50 million project on the site of a former car dealership. The new project is called Avenue 80. It will have 200 high-end apartments, retail and office space fronting onto Metcalf, and a parking structure that is wrapped with residential units and new walkable pedestrian improvements contemplated in the Vision Metcalf plan. Demolition is slated to begin this month, with the construction to follow, and tenants would be able to move in sometime in 2017. Amenities such as these allow workers more time for leisure activity rather than running around hurriedly after work or on weekends to accomplish those tasks. Leisure activity in Overland Park easily involves golf courses, parks, bike and hike trails, and so much more. But today's leisure activities are extending beyond what communities may consider conventional. I will say in 2015, it is the year that we will see a leap forward in the future of energizing experiences in Overland Park. As you know it, I love experiences. I'm Courageous Carl, and I'm an experience junkie. And I'm Council Member Carl, and I attend a lot of meetings. I'm skipping a chamber luncheon to fly like an eagle. And I'm settling in for a 4-hour marathon. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'm flying. Any more comments on the pen and pencil line item?
Thank you, Mayor. Is in the committee of the whole.
Don't live for meetings like this meeting. Take the leap. Be an experience junkie. IFly. Indoor, thank you. It's indoor skydiving and is coming to Overland Park at the southeast corner of I-435 in Metcalf. It's expected to open later this year. You can float on a column of air, learn the basic flying skills, including moving forward, moving backwards, turning, and on future visits, you may even progress to group flying and even advanced aerial gymnastics as you can see me doing here. Today, I'd like to propose that members of the Overland Park City Council join me in a group flying experience. You're ahead of me here. You know, think about it. We're all experienced with a lot of blustery air, right? Then there is golf. And for some, that's a four-letter word. But there's a new golf game in town. Hi, I'm Mayor Gerlach, and I'm no stranger to TopGolf. And I'm Happy Gilmore Gerlach. And I usually practice my swing hitting walnuts at the doghouse. At TopGolf, I can practice my drives. And I get real-time confirmation after each shot. 214 yards, not bad. I rarely make contact, and unfortunately, I get real-time confirmation of that. Thanks to the TopGolf target system, my chipping has never been more accurate. And my dog has never been angrier. Don't be like this, me. Go to TopGolf and give your dog a break. This summer, a 102-bay, 3-level experience in golf is opening in Overland Park, TopGolf. You know, one Florida news writer described TopGolf this way: it's a game of darts, bowling, and golf all rolled into one. And for you non-golfers, it's perfect. Anyone can play this game. Players hit a microchip golf ball which tracks each shot's accuracy and distance. You can make a game out of it with your family and friends, or why not even make it a corporate outing? And there's no lost golf balls in this game. You know, Overland Park's prominence as a premier, as a premier community is a result of the leadership from the Overland Park City Council, from the Overland Park Chamber of Commerce, from corporations, from locally owned businesses, many family buildings, and many others. Their efforts brought recognition to this city in 2014. Here are a few of the awards we won. Best City for People with Disabilities. Top 100 Best Places to Live. Top 20 Cities to Retire. Number 3 nationwide for Best Cities for Families. Number 1 in the 10 most intelligent mid-sized cities. And number 1 city to raise children. Pretty impressive. And from citywide, please. And from a citywide survey of residents, of you, here are a few of the results that have just been released that you may not have heard about. 92% of our citizens are satisfied with the image of Overland Park. 93% ranked Overland Park as a good or excellent place to work. 94% were satisfied with the quality of life in Overland Park. 98% considered Overland Park good or an excellent place to raise children. And 99% of you said Overland Park was a good or excellent place to live. 99%. That says a lot about the Overland Park experience. Creation of a memorable experience in Overland Park is vital. It's vital to attracting and retaining workers and visitors, for residents and corporations. The Overland Park experience encompasses many aspects of our daily lives because locally we know how our community needs to be built. We are the best and we are the most experienced to do that, not the federal government, not the state government. Local government is closest and most responsive form of government to the people. It is the result of local discussions and partnerships with the community, from residents to corporations. Local government is and should remain local. What I mean by that is Overland Park City Council and all the city councils across the country are entrusted by local voters to best address city issues. One local decision that has been beneficial to Overland Park occurred years ago. After obtaining support from the Overland Park Convention and Visitors Bureau, Overland Park initiated a transient guest tax. This is a tax that's collected from business travelers and visitors who stay in Overland Park hotels. It has funded, that tax has funded this $140 million convention center and hotel complex. It has funded the $36 million soccer complex. And it also funds the annual operations of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, all which help to bring business and travelers to our city. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Dana Markle, the new president of the Overland Park CVB. She begins her new task later this month, but she's here today. This is actually a homecoming for Dana because she's originally from the metropolitan Kansas City area. And Dana brings with her years of experience in leadership. She's currently the executive director of the Omaha Convention and Visitors Bureau. Dana, would you please stand and be recognized? Dana, welcome to the Overland Park experience. The Overland Park Convention Center, the soccer complex, the CVB, provide an outstanding and highly beneficial economic impact to our community. The Overland Park City Council was able to implement this hotel tax because the voters of Kansas amended the Kansas Constitution in 1961 to give constitutional home rule authority. Briefly, constitutional home rule empowers cities to make decisions regarding local affairs and issues that are unique to each community. In other words, home rule prescribes and establishes a way locally elected governing bodies may effectively respond to local needs of their constituents. The Kansas tradition of local governments making policy for local issues has been characteristic in Kansas for hundreds of years, but it's out of favor in some circles today. We see bill after bill from Topeka proposing to remove decision-making authority from local government and move it to Topeka, or to push state government responsibilities and financial burdens onto the local government and the local taxpayers. Changes being discussed by some legislators would reduce local government's ability to respond to the needs of Overland Park citizens. Some of the suggestions include telling cities that they must hold elections in the fall instead of the spring like we've done for years, telling cities that candidates have to run on a partisan basis as a Republican or a Democrat, even though the voters of Johnson County approved switching from partisan elections to nonpartisan election years ago. Some removing cities' ability to make reasoned and informed decisions for their own citizens, including where people can carry concealed and open weapons, and further eliminating mandatory safety training. Some legislators are proposing to add a 3.5% tax onto the transient guest tax without even discussion of the CVB as we did with them years ago. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to put it to the general fund of the state. And some are telling cities the maximum fee that they can charge for fulfilling open records requests, even if that request cost hours and hours of staff time and has to be paid by other taxpayers. I think we all agree with Governor Sam Brownback and the 24 other governors who urged congressional leadership to leave to the states the flexibility to manage their own affairs and serve the citizens more effectively without federal government intrusion. Matter of fact, that lesson is a good one. And so good, I think it also needs to apply between state and local governments. Cities in Kansas have traditionally had the flexibility and autonomy to make decisions in the best interest of their own citizens. That notion that the best government is government closest to the people is no less true today than it was in 1861. We know our legislators will listen to their constituents, including the business community. We need champions to advocate for local government and local control in Topeka, and we need champions from this room right here today. Help us to convey the message that Kansas cities like Overland Park are examples of good government, creating high-quality services and at reasonable costs, and driving economic development, which also benefits the state. Overland Park and other cities want to be part of the solution to the state's physical crisis. And the best way to do that is by maintaining our ability to exercise local control on taxes, on spending, on economic development, and on public policy. This matters because we want to ensure the entire Overland Park experience. You know, from 2010 to 2013, Overland Park's population grew at a 4.5% clip. That made us among the top 150 largest cities in this entire nation. We're larger than Oceanside, California. We're larger than Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we're larger than many other cities. But you know, why is that? That's because people appreciate the Overland Park experience, and that's why they come here. I hope all of you will join me at TopGolf, at IFly, and other attractions, and support Overland Park as we continue to plan, determine, and implement our destiny, which is one I know will be filled with excitement, memories, and successes. We need your help to ensure the Overland Park experience. Thank you for coming today, and I hope again to see you next year. Thank you. Thanks to the TopGolf. Thanks to the TopGolf. Thanks to the TopGolf chipping. Gotta hit a great shot. Hi, I'm Mayor Gerlach. I'm no stranger to top. It's all me. Hi, I'm Mayor Gerlach, and I'm no stranger.
Oh, yes you are.
Yeah, I am. And I usually practice my swing hitting walnuts at the doghouse. I look down again. If I hit the ball farther than 214 with this ladies club,